Hi, my name is Jonathan. I am the singer and guitar player.
Fuck is up, Denny's? I'm Zach. I play the lead guitar.
My name is Thomas Bergquist. I'm the bass player.
I am Richard Crowe, drummer for Midwest Martyr.
My name is Jeremy Meng. I own Whisper Studios in Kokomo, Indiana.
Why Seasons?
This was my idea. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But Seasons really did the word itself, even though that it is a song on the album that has a different meaning, Seasons was a good word to encapsulate what we have dealt with as a band.
To me, it represents change. It represents cycles, growth, which is a big part of life, you know?
Seasons, to me, feels like a twofold name. One is it was the last song written for the record, and there's some significance to it.
We went from old Martyr to now we're moving into this new lineup, and we wanted to kind of make a transition period.
It really did encapsulate what we have gone through as a band for our first year together. So when I presented it to the band, we had 2 or 3 names that we kind of were talking about, and we decided I think that was the best ones.
Songs are written from the very first practice after the split all the way up until a couple weeks before we recorded the final song. So it kind of gives this closure.
Just on a personal level too. I mean, I was in the same band with a couple of guys for close to a dozen years probably. So moving into this new project was a big transition. My mom recently passed away. That was a big transition. So there's just been a lot of change, a lot of growth, and I think that's an important part of life. So that's what the album's about.
And we literally took 4 seasons to write it all. So I don't know if you've ever acknowledged that, boys, but
Never. I gotta say, I just forgot it.
what was the hardest part to record?
For me, it was Overweight Sensation. I really could not get the timing down on the bridge section where we go into the do-do-do-do-do.
It's Overweight because we had the tempo down for the recording studio, and we hardly practiced playing to said tempo. And for me, and that was the first song that we did in the morning, so I was still a little groggy. But yeah, it took more time than what I wanted to.
So the hardest part for me, I would say the solos, and I don't even want to single one out because it's not anything to do with like on a technical aspect. None of my solos are technically very special. There's nothing very difficult going on there. But I've always been an improvisational guy. I started learning guitar and improv'd a lot. So learning to actually compose a solo was a process for me that I'm still going through. It still is a process for me. I just wish I had put a little bit more time into it because while I'm still proud of what I played, playing them in the studio was difficult because I wasn't so confident in them. So my performance wasn't as clean and as impactful as it needed to be. It took quite a few takes to really get it where I wanted it. And I still think it could use some improvement, but I'm happy with where it landed.
Take Back the Throne's vocals. So sometimes when you go into the studio, you get humbled. And you learn that the way you're singing something doesn't actually sound that great the way it's written. So let's like break this up, do this a certain way. And I feel like I'm better at singing it now because of that experience. But it was, God, what, like an hour, 2 hours of recording vocals only?
For Midwest Martyr specifically, the hardest thing to record, I don't think there was really a hard thing to record. I mean, they come prepared, they know what they want. Like, that's it. You might say guitars just because we tune a lot, but any session you're tuning your guitar every 30 seconds. So
Do you want to look like a certified big back?
Big.
Well, do I have the shop for you? Check out MidwestMartyr.com, where you can find some great apparel for great prices. You can find stuff like our Midwest Martyr 2021 Indiana tee,
Whoa.
our Seasons Summer Vibe tee,
Wow.
and our Overweight Sensation tee.
Damn.
Find the big back in you at MidwestMartyr.com/shop. MidwestMartyr.com does not guarantee you will look like a big back.
What was your favorite part to record and why?
The whole of Concrete and Karma, really. There was this really cool moment when we were in there, because we didn't even go into the studio with the intention to record that song. We went in there and we played a couple songs and we were killing it. We were making great time, and we looked at each other and we said, why not go another one? Let's just play another one. Let's just see if we can do it, just for fun. We played Concrete and Karma, and Jeremy's face when he heard it just told us everything we needed to know. He was ready to work on it right away, and he really helped us elevate the song, refine it, make some really great changes that brought it to the next level. So I'm really proud of how that turned out, and it was a lot of fun to do.
My favorite part was doing the lyrics and just the vocals in general for Homecoming. I think it was the first one we did. The first song I ever recorded vocally in that studio was Homecoming. And it's just a song that I've resonated with for a long time, so I've never had a problem singing it. I've always felt super comfortable. You could ask me when I first wake up in the morning, and I probably won't hit the notes, but I'll feel good about it. So I just like that song. It was fun to record.
Drums. Every session, my favorite thing to record is drums. And I'm a guitar player, so drums are just very, very fun to me. I love figuring out what the sound of a kit should be, listening to it in the room, listening to it under the mic, and trying to look at where the record wants to go and then figure out how to get the sounds there.
I think for me, it would be Fever. It was as a new band for me anyway, going in there, first time in Whisper, first time recording with the guys. It was great to kind of get that going, and Fever always has a special place in my heart.
It's a beautiful song.
I think my favorite part was Homecoming to record. I wouldn't say it's a very complicated bass line, but it's probably my most intricate. I really get to experiment with playing in between the notes and in the middle of the riff instead of alongside the riff. And that's something I didn't really get to do on Upbringing very much. Probably the closest I got is Threshold. So, and the techniques that Jeremy at Whisper had us use, I play the entire song fingerstyle live, but we used a pick in that first, the intro bit and the main riff to kind of really hammer home how important those notes are and how just up in your face they are. And I think the song is better for it. Special shout out to both Seasons and Bounce, because I fucking nailed them in like one shot.
Hold on! Fuck that! Mansers!
What are your favorite lyrics on the record and why?
The first sang line in Concrete and Karma is our art can thrive if we give it another try. That, in my opinion, resonates the entire record. It resonates the entirety of 2025 as a whole for this band.
Hard to pin down. There's a lot of lines that really stick out to me that I really like. Concrete and Karma, the hard and the harder, which one should we strike with first? I mean, that's just so cool. I love the imagery there. I love how that sounds. The chorus to Homecoming, you can read between the lines to my words, but you'll never find the meaning, that's for sure. Take whatever you want and run. I think that speaks a lot to kind of what it's like to be an artist. But if I had to pick one favorite lyric, it would probably be the chorus to Fight the Fever. And it's really simple. It's just, I'm losing track of my own opinion. I won't stop till I fight the fever. It's so evocative. It's so simple and it's so powerful. And I've never really heard a line like that. I remember the first time I heard it and I thought that's a hook to me. I love that line so much.
I'm not a lyrics person, but I do like Overweight lyrics only because it really does kind of hit home what John and Tom have dealt with, as far as the comments on social and whatnot, and overcoming all of those, and putting a positive spin on it. And I think that to me is really endearing, if you want to call it that, only because it shows how tough those boys are to be able to see that on a consistent basis and still persevere and keep on going.
Let's not cry on camera. I think I have a specific line from the song Echoes. I really hope that this was just a dream, but fuck no, this is nothing more than reality. For those of you who don't know, that song was written by John about our father who passed away in July of 2023. Every time we play that song, it hits a little different each time. That line to me is it's not the closure that you want, but it tells you what you need to do. Like, you need to accept that it happened. You need to accept that this is a part of life, and you need to work through that part. Shout out to Upbringing Will Be Your Legacy, though.
What's your favorite song on the record and why? My favorite's Concrete, specifically for that breakdown that comes around multiple times in the song. I think while we were recording it, we called it the biceps section. I think that was a marker I had in Pro Tools for it. I don't know why, the juxtaposition between that like major key thing going on into that like breakdown just feels so good to me.
My favorite song on the record, it's a tie. Overweight is really kind of my first gut instinct. I think it's a lot of people's favorite, and that's for a good reason. It's a very kick-ass song. But Fever holds a special place for me, and it hasn't lost its impact, even though it's, I think, the first song that we wrote as a group. It just hits, man. To me, that is a timeless rock song, and every time I listen to it, I just get hyped. I love it.
Overweight Sensation. And you're probably going to hear that a lot, but for me, that was like the most oops, I did it kind of riff. We were in John's garage during a D&D session, and I just picked up this little tiny guitar, and I don't play guitar, so I played it like a bass, and that just kind of came to me. We snuck it all the way onto a record, and it's the coolest riff I've written that I didn't intentionally write.
It is a banger.
Banger.
All right.
Banger.
It has to be Overweight. Only because I think Overweight really has all of our uniqueness within one song. Chords, the breakdown, lyricism. I think it really does kind of combine all the things that make our band great into one song.
I can't pick one. And I know that's a cop-out. It's between two of them. It's the two most emotional songs on the record. Echoes and Seasons. Echoes is about our father passing away, mine and Tom's father. So that one obviously hits emotionally, and it's very tough to sing, and it's one of the favorites because of that. But then Seasons is also because it's kind of the opposite of Echoes. It's the future. We're talking about a loss. And then Seasons is like a building of the future. It's talking about my wife and my family and how important of a thing that is.
Gay.
Coheed and Cambria, Winter Sun, Yellow Card, Cauterize. Hold on, let me do that one more time.
Who's your biggest influence?
Don't laugh, because I'm old. Biggest influence when I first started playing drums was David Silvera of Korn and Chad Sexton of 311. Those guys. I'm a groove guy. I've always been a groove guy. I like watching people dance and have fun at shows, and so I'm not flashy by any means. Never have been. Probably never will be. I like groove and solidness and just kind of do my own thing. So those are my two.
From a getting into music perspective, you won't tell this from my writing, but Panic at the Disco, they were the ones who, I heard their first record, Fever, You Can't Sweat Out, and their second record, Pretty Odd, and was like, man, this stuff is fucking tight. how do you write music like this? The more you look into it, you're like, oh, I can do this. So it's thanks to them, you know, they were like 17 at the time when they got famous. So it clicked that anyone can make music. Anyone can make it big in music if if you write good enough. Bass playing wise, it's Mike Dirnt is probably 100% with a small mention to Dallin Weeks of I Don't Know How They Found Me. Dallin for his ability to write a song around a bass line, and Mike for his philosophy of, I don't need to be the center of attention, I just want to be heard. So, turn your phone down.
When I was starting out, there was a guy named Taylor Larson who was massive influence to me. He was real big in like a heavy hardcore scene, big metal scene, worked with bands in the early days like Periphery, Jason Richardson, a lot of like heavier bands, but also got into like pop stuff. And it was really interesting to see how versatile someone like that could be. I mean, obviously there's so many different engineers and producers that I could point to as being a mentor for me. One of my good friends, Warren David, is a massive mentor, but then I also look at people like CLA, TLA, Pensato from Pensato's Place. I mean, the entirety of the recording culture as a whole is just this vast wealth of knowledge. So it's hard to point to like any amount of people.
I could talk all day about
The
influences.
smile, bro, on his face.
I could. I mean, I sat in the car on the way here listening to stuff and trying to think of what I would say my biggest influence is. I've listened to so many types of music. I've been fortunate enough to be exposed to a lot. And I could talk at length about how each one of these artists has influenced the way I listen to music, the way I play music, the way I write music. I'm going to make it simple. Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
I love Coheed, man, and they put so much of the stuff that I love all into one thing because they have that kind of emo pop punk vibe. They also have some of that metal influence, some of that classic rock influence. You just get a whole hodgepodge of stuff that I love. So, Coheed, Die Hard.
I have a lot of influences. Okay, obviously, aesthetically, I'm going for Dave Grohl's like Foo Fighter-y style stuff. I really like Foo Fighters, like aesthetically and just their big dick rock energy. I have a lot of other projects that I do though. Jason Mraz, lyrically, I like a lot of his stuff. So whenever I'm writing something that's a little more acoustic-y, or Seasons, for example, is more along, not really along his lines, but that would be more of an influence there. Dragged Under is another huge one. And 13 Gallons. All I know is I'm in your own. Okay.
Don't you dare skip this question without mentioning Jesse McCartney.
Oh, yeah, so when I decided I wanted to become a singer, it was because Beautiful Soul came out. And I really liked it. And then The Princess Bride came out. No, was it The Princess Bride? No.
Princess Diary.
The Princess Diary. Whoops. That movie came out and it ended with that Because of You song from Jesse McCartney. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be a singer. That's just what I'm going to do. And I still sing Jesse McCartney songs to this day. I love it.
Because of you, I never
That's
strayed.
not Jesse McCartney.
My voice cracked. What's your favorite riff on the record?
I'm going to go with a sleeper here because there's a lot of good riffs on the record and a lot of them have been talked about. But the bridge riff in Echoes that Thomas came up with is really cool, and I don't feel like it gets talked about enough. There was originally a riff in Echoes that got cut because it just wasn't necessary. It kind of was clogging up the song a little bit. Jeremy pulled it out and it opened things up, but that riff was kind of the seed to what Thomas did for the bridge riff, which is just such a fun little interpolation of the idea. I love playing it. It's just so fun on the fingers.
I don't want to say Overweight Sensation again. Maybe Take Back the Throne if I had to pick. Okay, Overweight Sensation is the answer. It's a baller, it's fun, and I get to do that cool little walk down in the bridge that makes me go, But to pick something that isn't going to be said 100 times in this video, Take Back the Throne. I was listening to a lot of Rage Against the Machine at the time that I wrote that riff, and fuck, it's been a banger since day one. Shout out to Bomb Track for letting me rip off a whole section of your song, but it works.
I will be fooling myself unlike Tom. I really like Fight the Fever. Fight the Fever was one of the first songs we wrote after we started working together again. I think we put out a video a while back of like me first ever coming up with it. It's genuinely one of my favorite riffs I've ever written. I don't think that there's going to be a point, unless I write some wild stuff, I don't think there's ever going to be anything that beats Fight the Fever. It hits everything I like in a riff. Simplicity, but hits hard.
I think my favorite riff has to be, dare I say it, has to be Fever and Bounce. I think those just were there were two songs that we first, kind of put together. But Bounce has that energy, Fever has that energy, and it's unique. And so yeah.
Hey guys, say hi to my cat. She's cute. Now is your chance to join the Midwest Martyr family and to get your hands on something very special. We are launching our official Patreon. If you join, you're not just going to get the latest updates from us here in the band, you're also going to get exclusive behind the scenes footage, interviews, full performances, and patron-only digital goodies like wallpapers and posters with art designed by our team here in-house without the use of AI. Human-made art, the way it's supposed to be. This isn't just your chance to get to know us better, it's our chance to get to know you a little better. So please, come join our community, hang out, listen to some music, and if you're one of the first 10 people to sign up for our $30 tier, you can get a signed physical first edition copy of our new album Seasons. And most importantly, I'll send you pictures of my cats. See you there.
What was it like working with Jeremy and Sam at Whisper Studio?
Amazing. Those guys are incredible. They're very understanding. They're very patient. Sam is the Taco Bell king. He would always go pick up lunch for everybody.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Sam.
Even though you like Dave Matthews Band, I can't forgive that.
Everyone has a fault.
I just like in my lifetime, other than the guys in the band, I've never really worked with someone with so much flawless music knowledge. It's literally like if you say one thing, he knows exactly what you're talking about. He knows exactly how to do it. He called things on my parts names that I didn't even know they were. They were just ways I played it. And I've never seen a man so confident that he can have his face on everything in his studio. A mug, a hat, a pillow, it's on everything.
I sat on his face when I sat down on the couch. Hey-o.
Cut that.
It's funny because we actually got to go in with Whisper because I actually did work with Jeremy. I want to say it was like 2014 or something like that, about a dozen years ago with the last band I was in. It was funny because we recorded with a different producer, had a bad experience, and he came in and saved the day. He helped us out and he turned those songs into stuff that I'm still proud of today. So I've known Jeremy to be the man. And when we came back all these years later in this new project and hit the studio for real, he took everything that I loved about him and just turned it up to 11. I mean, it's an amazing facility. Jeremy's great. Sam's great. I just can't say enough positive stuff. Great place to record. Great hangs. Really just, it's fun to hang out with those guys and just pick their brains and just make music.
Class act. Going in, we had to kind of prove ourselves that we're not just all fluff, pun intended. After time and time again going into the studio, they really kind of took us as extended family, and we think of them as such as well, and have gone above and beyond what the initial what we paid them for. So I love those. I love those boys.
I absolutely adore working with them. It's you don't often meet people in the industry that truly give a shit about. And even if he's putting on a front, which he could be, I don't think I've ever met someone that's like records bands that just genuinely cares about the music. Almost sometimes more, because like we'll just be like, hey, for example, Echoes used to have a completely different part in it. And Jeremy took the extra time while we were recording, we were paying him, but he took the extra time while we were recording to be like, hey, I think this would work better without this extra bit. And then he went through and he pulled the part out of the song, took the time to show us his thoughts so that we could actually make a better song. I think Echoes is a better song because of it. He cut out almost a minute of it, but yeah, it's a better song because Concrete and Karma. Good Lord, Jeremy. That was the funnest recording session for vocals I've ever had in my life. He came up with the idea for the yells in the background behind the yells in the chorus. He basically just said, go buck wild in there. Just yell stuff in between things, and it makes the song 10 times better.
What was it like to work with Midwest Martyr? I will be talking about this in therapy for years to come. Honestly, I get the benefit of being able to say no to projects that I don't want to do. And like the Midwest Martyr guys are just a good hang. And like that's the biggest thing. Like good people making good music, having good hangs. There's nothing better than that.